Another round of nerfs for overperforming kill teams, but is it enough? Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown, talking about Kill Team again. Now, last time we talked about Kill Team, we talked about Sanctifiers specifically, because they were broken OP. They're not the only ones who got changes today, of course, because they weren't the only things that were kind of a problem. As we'd often talked about, and as everybody on the internet talks about, so were the, elite teams in general, but by elites we really mean Space Marines.
We mean Space Marines.
It's mostly Space Marines in their good or evil format. I know, not good, whatever. But there's also one core rule change, which is, I'm going to call it a preemptive core rule change for the upcoming Into the Dark 2 Necron Boogaloo. Which, if you want to see about that, check out our preview stream that we did that. It's under the Lives tab. So it is a change to the guard action. Not guard as in Imperial Guard. This threw me at first. I was like, they started calling them guard. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, we're back to guard.
No, guard is an action you can take where basically you're by a doorway, and if somebody opens that doorway or goes through that doorway, you can shoot and or punch them in the face.
Right.
Previously, you could guard, punch somebody, and then counteract later.
And then punch or shoot them again.
Especially if you were a Angels of Death Marine who got to counteract on everybody anyway.
Yeah.
You can no longer do that. If the guard action has been done, if you perform a shoot or fight action while on guard, you can no longer counteract later in the turning point with that model.
Counteract for any reason, by the way, not just shoot or fight.
Right. You can't counteract a move.
Yeah.
This is a nerf to guard in general, but honestly, this is mostly targeted towards elites and especially Marines.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with it, honestly. I don't think that's a problem. The big problem with Marines overall is that despite having supposedly fewer models, they still have more actions than non-elite teams.
In most games, it would be balanced out with like, oh, your models are better, but they have less actions. They just don't. They just have more.
No, you have more, because you have more APL. You end up having 18 APL across the course of a round instead of instead of 20. So which is like, oh, that is less, but it's not less enough to make up for the huge staff decrease. So let's talk first about, before we get to Angels of Death, let's talk about Sanctifiers.
Yep.
So previously, the big change that was done with them is that you could not use the church youth group, we all go together when we go. Sorry, I always forget what it's actually called because I don't read names.
Something.
Lead the procession. Lead the procession, which is for your confessor, your big angry guy with a mace. He has a rule where he can, basically, everybody can move with him when he moves, and it doesn't take their move. And the only rule is they still have to move within range of the sermon.
Yeah.
They've changed it. What they changed was, last time, you can no longer do that first turning point. It was supposed to reduce first turning point pressure. It kind of did. Now, they've changed it so that no one else can move more than 3 inches.
That makes more sense to me.
I mean, the combination of both.
Yeah.
Because, this ragtag group of nobodies had more mobility than Vespids. And they have
than
wings.
Gene Stealers.
Right. And they still have to end within shouting range of the sermon. So it is a fairly sizable nerf to their overall team mobility.
Yep.
Which is something, because a big, huge problem is that you couldn't get good shots on them because they would just move out of shots. They kind of got to do whatever they wanted with that mobility. And the sermon range is not that small.
Yeah, and aren't there 2 guys that just always count as in sermon range?
Only one.
Only one?
Only one of them on your team can have a holy relic at a time, I believe. I think you actually can. No, only one out of the box. I think you could build them both to have a holy relic.
Jeez.
I forget right now. So that's change number 1. Change number 2 is your Reliquant Operative. So your Reliquant Operative has the Cult Devotion rule, which used to be that everybody within 6 inches of them got to basically fight or shoot before on death. They've changed it to, I think, only fight. I forget what it was last time. But it is now 6 inches and visible too.
So you can't do it through walls.
Right. Which is a pretty...
it is a pretty big deal. Because there's, especially on Vulcus, you could just stand in a building and put an aura out.
And again, that's a rule that everyone else already has to deal with, but they don't.
Yeah, they just forgot.
These guys got so many, we get to do whatever we want rules.
Yeah.
And then finally, and this is a rule that also was applied to the Novitiates, the Sisters of Battle, which is the Blaze rule. So Blaze rule is if you hit somebody with a Blaze weapon, which is basically your flamethrowers and your hand flamers, which almost everybody on your team has. It used to be if you rolled a critical hit, you would hit them with a blaze token, which meant on their next activation, they would either have to give up an activation or take D3 damage. Now you actually have to deal damage with a critical success.
Right.
So anything that blocks a critical success, whether that's cover or a dodge or some other kind of rule, now actually blocks getting hit by the blaze token. Because it used to be, oh yeah, I got hit by the fire and I'm fine, but I'm on fire now.
Yeah.
Necromunda-esque rules.
Yeah, Necromunda rules.
Haha! Your fire didn't wound me.
but I caught your shirt on fire.
And I mean, would you know? I guess it kind of makes. No, it doesn't make sense. What are we talking about? So all three of those. The question is, now we made on our last video, we asked the question, was this enough? And the answer was no. We said that at the time. We said it was more impactful than people were giving credit for, but it was not enough.
Yes.
And I still think this is not enough.
So yeah, the movement, I feel like the movement part is fine now. It's still good.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yes.
But it's fine.
Again, it's more in line with, like, free movements are very often restricted to 3 inches.
Yeah.
On everybody else.
Yeah. Or like any number of guys in the aura can move, but can't move more than 3 inches, or can't move out of line of sight, or blah, 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 blah.
As Cody pointed out, he had like a pre-game strat on his Jaegers to move, before everyone else, but he can only move within 3 inches of his drop zone.
Yeah.
But no, these guys just get to go, Brody walk out at 6 inches.
Exactly.
I still don't think it's enough because the only nerf to their actual offensive ability, which is pretty darn big, like their melee models still hit harder than a lot of melee guys. Their ranged flamers still hit harder than a lot of ranged guys. The critical hits thing is a slight nerf to that, but not a lot. The guy who hands out a free 5-up +1 save to everybody is still there. They still have tons of movement. They still have tons of tricks. They still have amazing tactics. They still have a button where the guy just looks at one of your abilities and goes no, which, by the way, they are in the commentary on that, they made clear that if it's a once per game ability and you use it, it's still used up. Like, these guys are still going to be the terrors of the town.
Yeah.
It might bring them within to, like, acceptably good range. Where they go, it's only, they do with, like, the Daughters of Cain for Age of Sigmar, where it's only a 62% win rate, it's fine.
Yeah, it's not what it was before. It's okay.
No, Cruel Boys had 60, that's a bad problem. But, Witch Elves have 62%, it's fine. They're allowed to be, because it's
girl power.
It's hard to pilot. Sorry, Age of Sigmar is bleeding into my kill team here. But I think this is not enough. I think we will see...
Yet another nerf in 3 months?
I think we will see, Sanctifiers nerf 3, the kill team strikes back.
The nerfening.
The revenge.
The revenge.
No, wait, that was Jaws 4. Sanctifiers nerf 3D. You put on the glasses. Look, there's blue and purple.
Oh, that's true.
Confirmed. So I don't think this is enough. And you.
So I only played against them one time, but I played Khorne, and the amount of melee damage output you could put out was more than mine, and I was upset about it.
And nothing in there has... Now, part of that was I was able to get where I wanted when I wanted to do that melee damage.
Right. Being able to move an extra full move and then
charge.
Do everything you wanted.
I could charge you when you couldn't charge me.
Exactly.
And you had like 8-inch movement. It was so dumb. Speaking of Goremongers, they got 2 slight nerfs and 1 slight buff.
Yeah.
We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. Their slight buff is now they heal D3 + 1.
Instead of D3.
Their nerf is that their thing that blocks successful hit no longer applies to critical, only normal damage.
Yeah.
And the ice pick climbing pick guy, he can't use those to climb down. It's only up.
Yeah, imagine a bloodthirsty Khorne cultist going, hang on, and then like turning around and going up against
You're saying that was a narrative choice?
It was a narrative choice. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but what I imagine him is he's like amazingly jumping off and like putting it in there and like scraping down.
That is cool.
And it's still slowing his fall.
Yeah.
That's what I think should happen.
Is cool.
Anyway, so yeah, RIP, Goremongers. Let's talk next. Angels of Death. So this is the kill team that comes in the starter set and also comes in a really expensive combat patrol.
Yeah, so this one is basically...
And was Space Marine Heroes at one point.
Hey, you have a ton of Marines, here's a free kill team for you.
Right. So they're the real terrors of the town. I would have joked that Sanctifiers were a problem because they were approaching Marine levels.
Yeah.
But they might have actually been better than Marines at some point.
I don't know. Look at all this pink.
Yeah, so we've got quite a few changes here. Well, let's talk about the changes first before we comment on them. First off, Chapter Attack 6 Dueler. So normally it's change to read. Whenever this operative is fighting or retaliating, each of your normal successes can block 1 unresolved critical success. The big change there is 1. You can no longer use all of your successes to just like
block crits.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
The problem is that like basically all of your Marines were better than any melee combatant in the game.
Yep.
This has changed that, so melee actually has a chance to get through it instead of just, and because it's a chapter tactic, you can just take it all the time.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. Next up, for the Intercessor Sergeant, who has Doctrine Warfare Rule. Basically, you got to change your stance from Devastator to Tactical to, and they also have one for Assault Intercessor who gets Assault. Basically, it used to be you got to change that for 0 CP every turn. Now you can do it once per battle.
Yes, once per battle for free.
For free, yes. God forbid you spend points.
Yeah, I know. It's still extremely tactically flexible. And I don't think it's actually going to matter that much. I mean, it is a nerf.
That is a nerf. That is a sizable nerf.
Yeah.
It doesn't address the really big thing that makes Angels of Death so powerful, which is they have those chapter tactics. They have so many more rules than everybody else.
Yeah.
Not everybody else. Other people have a lot of rules too, like Sanctifiers. But they just get all the toys.
Yep, they get all the toys. They get no downsides. They can double shoot. They can double fight. They have 3 APL.
And it used to, in older kill teams, like that's always been the case with Space Marines.
Yeah.
Part of the power fantasy of Space Marines is that they're super, super flexible. They can do anything. They can flex into melee. They can flex into being very fast. They can flex into range, blah, blah, blah. That's the point of Space Marines, is that they are an all-arounder army who is supposed to be weakened by the fact that they have fewer dudes. Because, you know, a Space Marine chapter is 1,000 dudes, which is not even an regiment of the Imperial Guard.
Or a fleet of Tyranids or
which is not even that's considered a small orc gathering.
Yeah. That's just a Friday night, man.
That's not even a birthday party for an orc. But in Kill Team, first off, you don't actually have that fewer guys on the board.
Yeah,
like,
6.
Yeah, you have 6 as opposed to like my Vespids, I think have 12 now, or maybe 11. And
Yeah.
one of them's a drone.
Or like even some teams have like 8.
Yeah. But you have 3 APL, which means your action economy, yes, you feel it a lot worse when you lose one guy. The step to losing one guy, if you don't misplay them, is so much harder than just everybody else because you have so much flexibility and so many tricks.
Better, more armor, more wounds.
It also used to be the case that Marines weren't actually that great at dealing burst damage. Like they were kind of like, okay, I'm a heavy armored guy, he's gonna slug it out. But now they can shoot twice.
Yeah, now that's like their thing.
Right, they shoot twice, they fight twice.
Yeah.
They can kill things incredibly quickly.
And that's saying something for this lethal game.
Right, yeah. They kill things so much more quickly than a lot of other things do.
Yeah.
So again, I don't think this is going to do much to endanger them. Like, it is a fairly sizable nerf. Against melee, against ranged,
Yeah,
nothing's changed.
basically.
But I think melee was always really more difficult against them because they were, you know, you had to get there and then they would also outpunch you. So, yeah. All right, so Nemesis Claw, they got a couple one. The big one is that their Midnight Clad thing, which made it so that you were counted as obscured if you were outside of that range and being shot at, has gone from 6 to 8 inches. Okay. That's still within charge range.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess that is a nerf. That's not very much of a nerf. Like, the article said, oh, we've nerfed them against ranged factions. Okay, barely.
Yeah.
Like, that's really not much.
If you're getting within 8 inches of Nemesis Claw, you're probably dead.
The Visionary loses his prescience points at the end of each turning point, which is actually a fairly sizable
that's
nerf.
actually pretty big.
And is good, again, like a lot of rules. That one's kind of could go either way because a lot of places don't lose their points, their currency, but some things do.
Yeah. Most of the things that, like, gain points over time will generally reset, but if you have, like, a pool and that's it, then they just keep it for the whole game.
And then lastly, Return to Darkness, your strategy ploy, you can no longer move more than 4 inches during that, and you can't move closer to enemy operatives.
And again, a whole bunch of rules were already like that. Actually, can't move closer to enemy operatives was already in there, which is also strange.
Yeah, I just...
But, like, a whole bunch of rules already like that. Basically, moving outside of your activation, you're limited by how far you can go.
Right.
But sometimes they're just like, nah, never mind, they can move.
I really don't think 8 inches is going to make that big a difference.
Yeah, I honestly think the Visionary Operative's probably the biggest deal here.
If it was 9, maybe.
Yeah, true. Because then you gotta do some work around to actually get the charge on.
Right, but 8 is kind of a joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really don't think this is much. So that was the big 3: the Sanctifiers, the
Nemesis Claw,
and Angels of Darkness. And of course, the Girlmongers getting their climb down nerf, because that was obviously a huge problem.
Yeah, it was such a big deal.
Now, they also tried to nerf some turn 1 alpha.
The first one is one of their strategy ploys, Recon Sweep. Additional text has been added. You cannot use this ploy during the first turning point. Again, trying to...
Well, that's one way to just reduce turn 1 alpha.
No.
You just can't. And then the second is on your grab inhibitor drone. The grab inhibitor is the thing that would stop them from moving if you get near them.
Yeah.
Whenever an enemy operative performs an action in which it moves, if it would move visible to and within 6 inches of the operative. Now, dash doesn't count.
So you can move out with a dash.
And treat the distance as an additional 2 inches and ignore the additional distances from the obstructing and accessible terrain rules.
So this is instead of, no, you can't move.
Right. Yeah.
So significantly nerfed on that one.
Yes. Honestly, that's probably fine. The thing about Pathfinders were very strong on Volkas because there's some really easy ways to get some really nasty shots.
Yep.
Pathfinders are just a team that really lives or dies by what terrain you're playing on.
Yeah.
Into the Dark, less good. But Into the Dark, that's where that grab inhibitor drone was way more powerful.
True.
All right, so Brood Brothers, everyone's favorite pants-stealing purloiners. First one is Insidious. You can't do it during the first turning point.
Yeah. Again.
Insidious was just a free dash.
Yeah. Is a pattern.
No free dash turn. That is so minor compared to every other problem we've talked about.
Let's look back on Sanctifiers again. Yeah. I get to move with my entire team for free.
No.
But not on turn 1.
No.
Not on turn 1. It's fine.
No. Bug boy. Icon Ward, your
banner.
Banner man. First, once per turning point, when a readily friendly Brood Brother Brood Guard operative is incapacitated while visible to and within 6 inches. So you can only use it on your Brood Guard. Mm-hmm. And once again, kind of like the Sanctifier banner, you have to be within visible.
Yeah.
You have to be visible to the inspiring banner to be inspired by it to fight or shoot on death or get up on death.
Yeah.
What a surprise. You can't just know, you know what? On this side of that wall is my company standard.
See, if it would have been a horn, then it could go through walls. It's like... I'm inspired.
Magus Operative. Everyone's read this as Magnus Operative. Spiritual Leader. First sentence changed. Strategic Gambit. If this operative is in the kill zone, okay, select one of the following 4 friendly Brood Brother operatives to have until the end of the turning point or until this operative is incapacitated. So if you kill him...
Yeah. If you kill him, it goes away.
It doesn't go away. And then finally, the Primus Mastermind. You cannot select each option more than once per battle. Again, that's very...
Yeah, normal. Again,
So, I mean, we say some of these are normal, but the reality is that there's also lots of things that break these rules. These are balancing factors that they're okay to tweak. I don't want to hammer them sounding like I'm saying they're being hypocritical.
I agree.
Because they're not. Because these are things like, okay, so sometimes things are more powerful. You can choose them more than once per battle. Sometimes they're not. This is a case of, okay, maybe that was too good.
It's one of the knobs that they can turn.
Right.
And I'm glad that they're turning them. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah. The only turn 1 thing that they changed here was the dash, though. So I think they just kind of had a reason. And then Hyrotech Circle. Necrons. Who
will be getting another circle
Who
soon.
are going to get a way cooler, in my opinion, Necron team here in shortly. Only a couple. The Chronomancer, Psychomancer, Technomancer, and Immortal Despotac operatives. They have the Interstitial Command action. Can't do it counteracting.
Yeah. So Interstitial Command, if I'm remembering correct, is the one where you could command someone else to do something.
Yes.
So
you give up one of your actions, kind of.
So I think what people were doing was they were kind of getting around the counteracting by making a counteract make something to a regular act.
Yes.
Come on, guys.
Which, I mean, yeah. The Chronomancer, his Time Splinter. Time Splitters was a great video game series.
It was.
This is Time Splinter, though, and you can only do it for 5 inches, 5-inch effect. That's a poorly written errata, but...
Yeah.
Last sentence, change to read. Note that a comms device from Universal Equipment only affects the first distance.
Yeah. Again,
no double tapping.
Yeah. It extends and then extends again. Don't worry about it.
Chronomancer, what do you have there? I have a Wi-Fi repeater. It's like plugging into the wall of Into the Dark. With this, my signals will go through. I will be able to watch my Netflix anywhere.
See, this is, again, it should be able to go through walls. The Wi-Fi.
Well, I mean, to be fair, have you seen the walls in Into the Dark? Yeah. The Wi-Fi signal ain't making it through those walls.
No.
And then relevant part of condition, during the first turning point, or if a friendly operative has already performed this action. So you can't do it, you can't double up per turning point, and no doing it first turning point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically, like the first turning point, this is codifying the idea that the first turning point is really supposed to be for movement and placement.
Yep.
Because, and we talked about this when we talked about Kill Team, which is the first turning point often feels like cagey.
Yeah. It's
Like,
staging.
if you get shot, you screwed up, or your opponent has something way too good. Or your opponent has something, sorry, I'm not going to say way too good. Your opponent has something very particular. Well, it looks like they're trying to round out that second half.
Yeah.
Looks like they're trying to make it so that if you get shot turn 1, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Which I kind of, that is a vibe for the game.
I agree.
That's a vibe you can do and that you can go for. You have to be intentional about it, and I think they are. I personally don't mind that.
Yeah, it feels really bad.
One last big nerf, which is on the Plague Marines. Contagion is no longer spread to people within control range of a friendly Plague Marine operative. Contagion's pretty nasty. It's -1 to hit, it's -2 into your movement.
It's like their shtick.
Yes, it is. But now you don't get the plague just by being near them.
Yeah.
Which, okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty big, though. Like, because that was kind of their shtick, was get close to you and then you couldn't get away, and they could just punch you a lot. Let's talk some buffs. Now, we're not going to go over every single buff, because there's some for, like, Chaos and Scouts and some other things like that. We're going to call out the Sicarians, by which I mean the Hunter Clade?
Yeah. Yes, Hunter Clade.
Hunter Clade. A couple things. Number 1, team selection. You cannot select more than 7 of these operatives combined. Okay, so it used to be... your kill team can only include up to 1 Dictat, 1 Surveyor, and up to 5 Sicarian. Your kill team can only include up to 1 Arc Rifle, 1 Plasma Caliber, and up to 1 Transuranic Arquebus. So between the Sicarian Infiltrator Warrior, the Sicarian Ruststalker Warrior, the Skitarii Ranger Gunner, Skitarii Vanguard Gunner, you can only have 7 of those instead of 6. So slight buff. Used to be you could only have 6 of those total between all 4 of those options. Now you can have 7, which is good because those are your good guys that actually do things that matter.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the one is that the Omnicize Imperative used to do damage to you, D3 plus 1 damage, and that's just gone.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Lol, gone. All right, okay. But the most impactful buff of all, the one that really matters that I think is going to change Kill Team as a game, is the one for the Imperial Breachers, the Imperial Navy Breachers. Which is that the Sergeant at Arms and Gunner Operatives have 9 wounds instead of 8, and the Endurant has 11, and the everyone else has 8 instead of 7. Yeah, that's huge.
This is it's just straight to the top with these guys. This was way overtuned.
They're undertuned because this is a buff.
No, I mean like this is too much.
Oh, okay. Well, on top of that, the Geist Skull Detonator is going from lethal 5 to lethal 4.
Yeah, the once per game thing that you can do to explode one of your guys.
Yes, to explode your skull.
Well, I mean,
is now a lethal 4 up. So
mistakes,
which I think is like the only lethal 4 I've seen in this game.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So, I can't continue this shtick.
Yeah, they called this out as one of the biggest changes they made, and it was +1 wound.
To be fair, going from 8 to 9 is really big because then you need 3 damage 4 shots to be killed instead of 2. Going from 10 to 11 is less big. Going from 7 to 8 can be.
Does it?
I mean,
I don't think it actually matters.
Well, a hit and a crit on a 3-4 damage won't kill you.
That is a very specific stat line, but yes.
No, it's a very common stat line. 3-4
I said
bolters.
Specific.
Yeah. This is a buff. Extra wounds are buffs.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a buff. I'm just saying it's not one of the biggest things they did this round.
No, but then again, we're going back into the Dark, which is where Breachers are really built to shine.
That's true.
Like the problem is Breachers just aren't great in.
Yeah, it's almost like they built this entire thing for one.
Breachers are not
terrain.
Great in Volcus. The Crude are okay because they actually aren't built for Into the Dark.
Yeah,
they weren't great in Into the Dark. They're okay in Volcus. The Breachers aren't awful in Volcus, but they're not fantabulous.
They're one of the lowest win rates.
Yes, they are. Yeah. So overall, this really feels like the Sound and the Fury. Not a lot going on here.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of text with I feel like not enough changes.
They're really these are not what I would call sweeping changes.
Yes.
I get that you want to be hesitant to buff things because it doesn't take much to tweak things.
Yeah, that's true. And the real problem here is we don't use points in this game.
No.
So they have to do these changes in order to change anything at all.
Right.
So this is like them changing points in 40k or Age of Sigmar, because they can't do that here.
But it's way easier to go +5, -5 points.
Yeah. And so them doing these little tiny tweaks, it's like maybe this will help.
Yeah, you also can only really gather data for many of these factions. You can only gather data on what faction they're taking,
Yeah.
not what they're taking within that faction, because a lot of them don't have that much choice.
Yeah.
Or not really much choices. Like, they have supposed choices that aren't real choices.
Yeah. It's like you get 10 guys and you have 10 special guys and one normal guy that nobody ever takes.
Right. Like, oh well, you know, if someone's taking the normal guy over the special guy, that's when you know you need
Yeah,
to
that's when you're like,
the special guy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like a lot. But I don't play most of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, there's
The
like
ones I play didn't really get touched.
13 of them or something
Because
like
I don't really play Sanctifiers.
Yeah.
Because they weren't fun to play and just steamroll everyone, just
Yeah.
walk up the board and burn people. Like, it really felt like you just started at one end of the board and just moved forward and win.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that changes. I hope this is enough.
As your opponent for one of those games, I agree.
Yeah, no, it was not a fun game to play
No.
because it was like, oh, okay, you got into melee with me. I should be dead. I'm just gonna, duel the fates, parry everything, and then chainsword you in the face.
I'm gonna charge you, get a bonus to charge, not kill you, and then die on the crackback.
Right.
Very
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. I mean, some of that was the dice, but even so. Overall, I'm hesitant to call this good, but I need to play with it.
Yeah, I agree.
At time of recording, these only just went live, so
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to trying Breachers because I haven't actually played them, and they were my first kill team.
yeah, I have them too, and
So
they were
maybe-
just so not great.
If every single time I have a guy on 1 wound, I'm gonna go, it mattered.
You gotta write it down and then send that data to GW. And what you should write down below is what you think, whether these are actually meaningful, whether we're overreacting or underreacting. Perhaps we missed something.
Yeah, maybe there's something huge.
There is some stuff we didn't talk about because we considered it not huge. You can check out the update on your own. We don't want this to be too long. Let us know below if any of that is something you think is really important. And we'll keep you updated on the Kill Team stuff as time goes on, especially with the upcoming Necron Boogaloo. Because I want that Necron team, and a lot of people want that Deathwatch team.
Yeah, me too.
And we will see you then.
Bye.